Hello and welcome to another edition of Sarah J Media Live on YouTube and Facebook, and welcome to the special edition today with Sarah J Media on sports. Like we say, yesterday we had the buzz, and today we have how the go inside the Republic with the Sarah J Media sports program. So today we will come review the AFCON 2025. So I guess my own boss na the media. They also today with me. But before I go any further, I want to apologize for the late start we'll get. I believe say we don't be on by 9 on the dot, but due to some tutsi Nico, maybe they happen around 9, make we delay for at least a little bit of 15 or 17 minutes. But I apologize once more for that. And today we bring come to an AFCON review and what's the way forward, lessons learned, and USAI with the go forward as an African country or Africa as a continent. We're seeing football means to be and how we don't look at this AFCON 2025, we happen on Morocco and which now we take on that. So today I get with me one of Sierra Leone's finest. Again, always Namawi they support me. He supports the game. Okay, he didn't support the game. He is dedicated to sports in Sierra Leone. And as you all know, that somebody we don't do a lot of work. But I get for challenge and power game of tennis. I don't see they play tennis, but I don't feel to say no for see myself now some kind tennis pro. But then they are the game when we meet 1-to-1 one day, either inside Holland, now London, or na Salon. Like I'm a run for your money. It's none other than the man himself, Desmond Paine. Desmond, I want to know to do how you pain come out. You say Paine. I want to know who's Salon man get that name there, or little bit to see in the same for in Salomon. Over to you, Desmond.
Tibo, thank you very much for flattering me. Listeners, good evening and welcome to another exciting conversation here. Don't mind Tibo. Tibo is just to flatter me around anyway. Anyway, it's good. Those days when you born a family where meet your families and together, you hardly follow your identity. And we not a village picking and a village they left we. Now when we can a city, now we can say we get son name. So by me growing a village, then they call me because twins and call me triplets and then call me behind. One of them the two no they, so they call me Sion. So if you look my original name, if you look, you will see at the right time Desmond Junior S Paine.
Okay.
Yeah, the S they go for two meaning. The S itself na my real surname, but because of the Sion, they carry am back. So from the explanation me get for me that when I come for no one, as somebody will live a very hard life, growing around people there. In a then Samura there from Kamakwe, but he end up forget pain because of in hard life and the people the way they live around. So they begin call him Dr. Paine. So at the end of the day, all in paper and government work, he end up forget the name Paine. So when we self can't grow up, can't know as we are now that's surname then with birth certificate, any document we get. But the only thing we do, all the picking them, you will see each and every one get S. And the S to represent the samurai. So in fact, some of me siblings then they call themselves Paine. Yes. Some can call themselves Spain, and some people they call we Spain, but we not then Samurai them.
Then we say you know Samurai for Samurai.
No, not Samurai for Samurai. In fact, I not even know. Yeah, I know somebody from the Samurai family. We na one me uncle. Where I grew up and know. I've been to visit. I'm very close to back of stadium.
Okay.
Yes. Now the only person I know we named Samurai can go to Uncle Samurai. Yes. And the only person I know. So this is how I get the name Paine.
I mean, we say number young Paine as some kind name way you just hijack them on the way because you know say Solomon will quick for hijacking him. But now I don't know what's not the meaning of the Paine. Yeah. But I also say I get for take you for run for your money on tennis. How about that?
You're welcome. It's a show.
As a player, coach, or challenger, how? Which one of the three?
Anyone now you throw challenge. We give me bars, me say give you bars. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Desmond, for joining us. And we also do wait for African teacher. Maybe go join me later on as the program to go. But like we can deal with this particular topic of discussion we'll get today. But if you're joining us, please share the program and make sure say other people able to get an opportunity for listening to this particular program. So Desmond, I know say the AFCON don't come. It don't done. We've seen the beginning of the AFCON. Quick review. We will not foresee everybody was looking forward to the AFCON in Morocco. And the reason made them look up to the AFCON in Morocco that because Morocco don't play a great role in African football over the past couple of years. I would say 10 years in a row, they've done extremely well. The team as a whole don't perform well in a World Cup, don't perform well in the African stage, but they have been very unfortunate to win the Nations Cup for well over 50 years. So it is long awaiting. And on records, they possibly have the best team in Africa right now, up to leading up to the AFCON 2025, where they host not the young country. But the way how they planned this AFCON was great in terms of bringing everything together, the facilities, the stadiums, the planning, the logistics, everything where they put together was superb. And we see how the matches and games then start for unfold, and the few cities they where they spread the Nations Cup to, it generates more audience now in different areas than the expectation was met to the extreme, wherein everybody was looking forward for be part of this particular historical event where Morocco the host AFCON. And what we see in terms of planning, infrastructure, hospitality, and the rest was superb in the early beginning, going up to the knockout stages, the quarterfinal and the semi-final and the final stages, which is where all the controversy then come out. So how you go summarize the build up to AFCON and what we able to foresee all throughout that period before we get to the second stage of the knockout series when are the quarterfinals? What thing that you take if you want for review the entire process from where the AFCON begin for plan to the time where then gets to the knockout stages when around two?
Well, what you go look at, T-boy, first you want to look at the young development plan with them put in place because that they tell you beside them in the look where then they go. So if you look at the developmental structure, we get them for making the host all the tournament there. So it starts around 2007. Now it starts. And then span them up to 2025. And all the things they also really talk about, it starts with a lot of development. So from 2007 to 2010, they launch massive construction of what you call the Mohammed and Five Football Academy. We combine sport and education to 2007 to 2010. And then it commoded 2013 to 2018, they expand into club academic and sport study module. So they not only they play, they not only get a card, but they begin study the sport module, waiting they happen and how they go impact change in the society. 2019 to 2022, Morocco go to the World Cup semi-final. So they've already done see. They start with the basic, knowing first building the infrastructure. After the infrastructure, let we go educate the younger youths them. They educate, they don't begin see the progress. And from there, they go for bigger tournament. First, they went into the semi-final. 223 to 225, massive infrastructural development, upgrade for AFCON 225, where now we look at Tiaso. And not only that, they upgrade also to go for World Cup 230, we then go co-host them as well. So this tell you, say the people they be really serious, and they were very much pragmatic in their approach because the hosting this competition left them also the fight with the citizens them. Say we not get good health, we lack basic amenities them, but not just they invest in this football. Why? What are they need? But in the long term, people will get foresee in it because just imagine one of the powerhouse of economies in Africa. When we talk of economy, then people these African countries are struggling. Then the struggle. They are going and everybody is running up and down, tourism, sport, you name that is happening. So they've done their homework properly, but let them able to get this competition and to be candid with you, for now as it stands, it is one of the best tournaments them na Africa when Africa don't host. Because if you look at the development they wouldn't put in place, the packages them, waiting happen, it tells you a lot, say then things they wouldn't put in place now lead them for make them achieve within they achieve. So a lot of marks then they will then get, a lot of development they will change compared to previous tournament then we host in various different countries then. So this alone tell you say the people were ready, and they were not just ready but they were committed for it. So like for example, if you look in terms of sponsorship, now Cameroon are 9 people, then 9 companies and may sponsor that tournament day, where you have been one of the photographer journalists and we visit it. And then when you go to Ivory Coast, na 17 sponsorships and they get. But when you come to Morocco, then get a record of 23 sponsors. So just imagine where you get a record of 23 sponsorship. What do it mean? It means everything you go able to do perfectly for let you left a good name. So the build up to, let's say, the African qualifiers, them it was very exciting. And now coming to CAF, in rolling out the facilities, them like the train, the buses, rolling out for people to understand, say, okay, this is serious, and testing them with some African youth tournament, them some African qualifiers as well, tells people, say, these people are really serious. And then come to the tournament as well, it was massive, and it was entertaining. You get everything where you need for, say, in football. So for me, they've done their homework. That's why we enjoy the kind of football we enjoy from them.
All right, thank you very much, Desmond. Like you clearly say, it was a record holding competition inside Africa, and possibly not just in Africa, because for tech wise, they had like one of the massive or one of the greatest online digital viewing with a 5.2 billion video views worldwide, and that was a great record. On streaming line, they had 1 million fan generated videos, as in people who they generate video for posts now all in social media group them. And you also have another engaging 285 million engagements were recorded, reflecting on the unprecedented level of international and emotional investment. So exactly what you said, they have 23 sponsors, and the amount of people that will come on board for interact and therefore put together their own small kind of investment in various different things that will happen within Morocco was great. All these are record breaking grounds for the AFCON itself. Now, I know for say they don't do a lot in terms of building their capacity from the grass level to football to the educational sector, and then now they may look at going bigger, as in the professional game itself. You feel say Morocco as a whole don't improve the league in terms of all them facilities they also don't create? Are they attracting more African players to participate in the Moroccan league, or they still haven't been able to generate more extra influence for coming to the Moroccan league, as you think?
Well, they're doing their own little bit. There was a statistics we come out recently about the leagues them now across Africa. Um, if I'm right, I think Morocco are in fourth, one of the top leagues across Africa. So that tells you, say, if they are sitting in fourth, if I'm right, it could have been fourth or fifth way than this. So which means they are doing fairly well. Because if you're not doing fairly well, then you're not going to find yourself in a position like that. We compare to other powerhouse them. But again, you might be doing well in your league, but if the standard of living in your country it's a problem, then that also affect the growth of sport. Because me not going to think for waiting for go eat, they go invest in sport. And we you know prioritize them, I they see and say value to society. And this is also the problem we get in our own country. We not able to prioritize with sports. So one, now for say we dey into sport, but two, what are the benefits will they be in, which kind of impact they create in a society? And for these people, this is where they think about. They think about the impact. For example, let's look at the massive return of kids we born in Europe now. We don't see the need for go play for Morocco. So if all this investment were not there, would this guy would have seen the need to go say, okay, we'll go identify with this country? When a Europe then born and get all facilities, they speak the language here, now they don't go school. So it's because of what has been there, what has been offered to them, the development wey they don see. They say if dem come home, they no get for strain again. They just get for role na a system wey go help them for make them develop more than how dem dey develop. So for me, they've actually been doing well. The league per se, not to one way you compare like as the South Africans or the Egyptians, but that notwithstanding, they are one of the powers in Africa at the moment.
Thank you very much, Desmond. I totally agree. South Africa League, for some reason, it don't rise to a level where actually surprise the southern hemisphere of Africa, because they get a system we then call COFASA League. With that league, it comprises of most of the South African countries then way they within their region, and their club level of football is also high, wherein they attract a lot of other African players then from different African countries the way they can play. And even some of them are European players, because when I be watched the league lineup a couple of years ago, I realized they have foreign players from South America and some part of Asia where they participate fully at the South African League. Of course, we never say the Egyptian League has always been one of the best in Africa. I remember back in the days we get the likes of Rabah Majan. I did the all stats then game them. Now biggest club they with the Egypt. I can remember some few where I believe say Arab Contractors was one we be attract to own Ishmael Daifan we be end up for play for them. So their own league been there at a different level. But I would say also some of the Arab countries then league them also in a big league until we begin get the West African league, then we become very much more attractive to African players. Then we Ivory Coast now be one of the countries then we be they attract enough foreign players. Then we been in the sub region for can play them professional game. Then the Cameroon at some points yes started off a little bit as well, but then getting on clash in the national clash way. That one of the biggest issue maybe they affects the league, and at the same time they affects the national team. So we have seen all this development in Africa. If you say the game inside Africa don't change in your momentum for make we able for say well fine the game is now for Africans, because I remember say there was few comments being made against particular Nations Cup where the president of CAF Miguel for they make serious complaints in some of the press conferences the way it been held inside Rabat. The complaint was, is African football being played for Africans, or the African game is being played for the Europeans? What would be your take on that before we can begin break the AFCON into pieces?
African competition is being played for Africans. If it's for the European, it could have been hosted in Europe, but it's hosted in Africa. And why do you think we are fighting with the Europeans? Now, because like what I said earlier, if me they think for it, how they go think for get a season ticket. Look, a Moroccan just don't equalize for PSV against Bayern Leverkusen. So this tells you the development, you
Yeah,
know.
sure.
So if me they think for it, then you tell me for go get a season ticket. No, I can't. But in Europe, yeah, so you don't even think for it because food is one of the most cheapest thing where you can buy. So you able keep money, you able save for buy a season ticket. And again, it's about the model of doing business. Now Africa, we want big money, and then yeah, they want quick money. So before season start, ticket they go at 50 euro or 100 euro for a whole season ticket. Yes. So if you lucky you don't buy am, you wait before the season starts, you get for spend like 1,005 or more than that, depending on the side you want for sit up. So the competition itself is now an African tournament. It's for Africans. And you know the good part about this tournament, it has always raised eyebrow that Africa is respecting the Europeans. But who pays the fight of nine they talk for? Not so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Europeans are the one paying our players. Sergio money investment in Africa, also I pull the money. A village boy will be the worker, you know, if you're not being crossed in Europe, if I will below T bill, so go to we own legend, Mohamed Kalon. One schoolboy, they play street football. If you're not been kind of Europe, would you have been able to invest and impact in the lives and way it impact on so today? So UA now they pay the due, now you get for talk. So the European clubs are not talking because they don't want African football or African Nations Cup for reach their level. But they are talking because they are the ones who paid these guys. And they pay them for their services. And now when you play, now then they add value to them. Then the stock in the market or the jerseys themselves. But if you come, you are injured, how would they take you for good a press conference or for good do advertisement for them? They can't. So the tournament itself is for Africans. The only thing is our GDP not don't reflect the reality for the citizens and see the sport. And if you look, the Europeans or whatever sport don't overtake African today. For example, now I see a video Manchester win. Thousands of people they go to one club, they
Yep.
go to run, they kill animal, they eat. Then country go they play, then win. They not even get that time for put them country just for go. Was it Uganda? Yeah, it was Uganda. Uganda, Onana go play the whole stadium. They put on Manchester United jersey instead of so the Europeans are doing what it takes for markets and league, make it become more entertaining for catch people there, and we don't fall for them. And this is what we've not been able to do in our own leagues as well in Africa, because if we do them, then we're not going to get empty stadiums in previous African Cup of Nations, and where we see even this one we get few empty stadiums, but so far if you follow the trend and do proper research, it has been one of the most best tournaments hosted by Africans. Reasons: good organizational structure, standards was set, world-class football pitches, which has always been a problem, hybrid pitch. We see rain, the come, the ball, the bounce, the ball, the rule. Nobody, no go, ref no go say they go stop the game. Commercial revenue go up to 90%. We increase the finance for the AFCON. You see, and then a lot of things then will happen there. Transportation. Just imagine all those bus and train and new route where the Moroccan government don't develop. Would they take them back to Europe? If we are saying the tournament is playing for Europe, it's playing for Africa. All those development will stay there. So the tournament is for Africa. It's not for Europe.
Okay. The CAF president Motsepe make a comment for say they are taking these games or these competitions to African countries to bid for them, but none of them are bidding. Only Morocco is coming to their aid. And he also highlights, say, other countries are complaining to say they are making loss instead of making money. Do you think that statement to me was not a little bit more of a concern? Because if you they send out the bid for make African countries then take the tournament of this kind caliber, and then they are saying to you, no, we don't want it because we are losing money. What is CAF doing for them to make money than losing money? Because nobody wants to invest in something that they're not going to make money on. Like you don't clearly say, Morocco, they go through a serious national crisis economically for their citizens, but they are spending luxuriously on African football, specifically sports of on CAF. You feel say for run a tournament like this, not for be something where everybody go out for drum because they make money. What's not the mechanism you feel say missing here for people not to be able to make money than actually lose money? That's why they're not accepting these bids.
Priority. Well, what is your priority? What is the prioritize yourself around? Morocco don't get an approach. Even before the coming of the World Cup or African Cup of Nations, they have a stable economy. They have a stable economy. So that let we get and clear first. They've not been struggling. And
Right.
they've always had proper facilities. The only thing they've upgraded facilities then because they are hosting this tournament. And if you look at the other African countries, the way this tournament previously don't go, it raises a question. For example, let's take up South Africa, which is also one of the powerhouses in Africa in terms of economy and governance. Huh? But since the host in 2010, what happened to some of the pitches there? They get one of the best leagues in Africa, not so.
Yeah.
They're proud of them, their leagues them and their homegrown talent them. What happened to some of the pitch them? They become ghost city. Why do they become good city? Because areas they wouldn't go bilang. Now areas where life itself not exposed the economically, physically, and emotionally. So those people were like robbed. They were shown a kind of life, and they were shown to the world as if everything around them is bright and beautiful. But no sooner the tournament comes to an end, they go back to that old life. For going to bush, go kill animal, can't eat, and live in that kind of way. And then your own life, not to poverty making they do that. That's their own life. It is their own way of culture and doing things. And this is the problem. When you go and build these facilities now grown where people are not highly educated, who do you expect to maintain them? And even these people, when these tournaments are on, they don't go there because they don't value it. They have other things they value than. So it's about what you prioritize. And again, it's what does government really want in sport? This is also a major question we need to ask ourselves. Does government want for you sport as an employment tool for citizens? Because if they want just use them for political gimmick, for go say, oh, we invested in this sport, we invested in this, then the question is, why should they be go bidding when they don't say they get for loss? But Morocco, they are not telling you we are hosting it because we are, no, they are hosting it because they see the impact to it, they bring camp. Kids say we don't turn them back from a country are now going back home. Look, Hakimi that is playing for PSG. He born in Spain, and however, he had an opportunity to play for Spain, but he chose Morocco. That sent a big shock to the whole world. Wait today, every kid want to go play for Morocco, want to put on that color. The goalkeeper as well was born in Spain, had the opportunity, but they've all choose to come back home. So it because of within the country don't prioritize that investment plan within the sea. And again, where there is peace, there is investment. But you cannot be fight. There cannot be war in Liberia, and then you expect Salon for bid. What is Salon bidding for? The people coming, their life needs to be safe. They need to be secured. So if they are coming, the neighboring country have a war. What do you expect? They are not coming. In Cameroon, it was happening while people are in Yaoundé. Was the English-speaking side? There was a report of rebel attacking citizens there, and the buses were driving for a march within that area. People were scared for their lives.
Well,
Even
now
what
what
is
me dey for that
yes,
panafia day.
yes. So you see, so it has to do with what is happening within the region. Now people are thinking maybe this tournament might go to Tanzania, within East Africa. This is where the focus is now. But again, Tanzania was stable before Mogufuli come in and die. And since he go, the lady will come in, don't face a little bit of each within the citizen and the powers that be in Europe and the West will detect things behind the scene.
Right.
So how safe are these players or the investors who are going to put their money there? And again, don't forget T-Boy, a lot of these investors then tie themselves to things and wouldn't believe, say, social justice things the way every citizen forget right to. So some of the African countries them were still turning our eye on them, and these people don't want to come in for this reason.
Well, I think so as well. But this time around, I mean, Tanzania, Kenya, and I think Uganda will be the three main host nation for the 2027 one. And I believe also say, um, is Safari on a high? Because I think if we look at the Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, I think they have a huge natural resources. We hold historical values to Africa as a continent. So I think, my own opinion, I think the grounds will be ready, and Kenya is already excited about the whole thing happening in Kenya anyway, because I've seen already there promotional videos that are going out to say we Kenyans, we are ready to take Africa to the fullest or one of the best African Cup of Nations. Maybe it might be a Safari African Cup of Nations. We don't know yet what is going to be the theme or which kind of concept will be around that. But you feel say within the African setting on its own, affordability for tickets is a huge concern because when you mentioned say Morocco they didn't do it for money, Cameroon also will not say did it for money, maybe for political gains, yes, because they get a president we don't did it for decades. We feel to say if we bring the game come to Cameroon, it will make a difference. But the investments where they make now Cameroon is a loving is a football loving nation. One of which I think personally maybe did not happen, but during a protest where they get a couple of months ago before the election, they were burning down some facilities that were very close to the Yaoundé stadium where Nadewi being stationed for during the African Nations Cup as Sierra Leone, and we see other parts of Cameroon. I mean, Ivory Coast also invested a lot because they built like two or three more stadiums, and these are all countries that are strongly involved in football. You think say taking it to East Africa, where I feel say right now don't generate a lot of interest during this AFCON, go change the narrative for make themselves begin focus now on football as one of their main sport. Because whenever say East Africans are doing more of cricket, they have a little bit of rugby, not too much so on football. But over the past 5 to 10 years, we've seen a couple of East African countries doing extremely well in the past three AFCON. You feel that reason they make them feel to say it's very much important to take it now to the east. Because not say South Africa, of course, don't host, and they don't host the biggest tournament at the world, winner the World Cup. It will not be fair on the other small nations they really alongside them. So, what difference do you think this Nations Cup will take, or which pathway it will bring for the eastern countries them will it participate or will it host them for 2027?
Well, to them, they already have a foundation as you talk. It's a tourist destination. People go there for wildlife, and it's the backbone of their economy as well. Sport has been there. You talk of athletics, it is their sport. You talk of cricket, Kenya, Ethiopia. Those are the countries where the athletes then really, really are doing well. Like in Kenya now, they don't build one of the biggest athletics school day,
Right.
where even Europeans and they go there and they go camp for training day. This is their sport. So football coming there will also add value to them. But again, one of the things that really affect Africans then, we all, has to do with transportation, has to do with free movement of people. Look, before the holiday came to an end, I was able to travel from here to Germany. I went to Borussia Dortmund. I went to Essen. I went to Düsseldorf on a bus. I saw like 6 to 7 cities. These are for classic cities, not to then we own
No,
village, then
so
we
then
go
by one day.
only with bus. And then I came back, I was able to fly 1 hour to Norway, and then in Norway get a car, drive across Sweden. So traveling also is a major challenge. If we Africans have not been able to invest properly in our road infrastructure and driving as well, people are very educated, know that way they drive, and people in life, you therefore make sure it's safe. Then these things, nobody would be interested of coming there. You see, and
But I,
safety,
yeah, go on this.
safety is also key as well. But again, don't forget that East Africans are really, really doing well. When in terms of education, they are doing well. And these are people that we very, I would say, I'm not going to say they get pride. They are very proud of themselves. Proud in the sense that it's very difficult for them to see them change their allegiance to them country. No matter what it take, they are proud for say who they are. They speak their language, they stick to their cultures, they stick to their values. So, and this is something way unique for the African Cup of Nations because people might want to come in not just for the tournament. People might want to come in to explore the history. But again, let me look who are these people coming in. How has African been interested in traveling for what we call exchange tourist experience? When
Well,
was the
Toby,
last time you hear it say Shalom and say, but at the left side, they go Guinea, la go see Guinea, then they own tourists. No, we go there for go buy business and come back. So this is
yeah.
also has to be something that will influence change in our sport. If you believe you're not just going there for the sport, there are other things you can learn from, then it become more interesting for let you go there.
To be very honest with you guys, I've spoken to a couple of people already that are interested to go to Kenya, for example. And the reason for that is because they believe, say, oh, safari. Oh, no, 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 I'm going to be there. I'm going to start saving now. Because sometimes some of them will use them for maybe like a holiday trip and then take one stone, kill two birds. Say maybe whilst they're there, they will be able to go on a safari and then possibly buy tickets for go watch the game. But I also believe, say, Kenyans are very smart people. There's a possibility, say, they will begin to do package holidays for football and safari. So for entice people and for go during that particular time day. But also, these are African countries that have been developed over the past couple of years to the magnitude. Their road network systems are good. I haven't been, but I've got people who can testify that. Of course, we know say Tanzania under Mukufeli has been developed rapidly within the space of 2 to 3 years before he passed away. Yes, there are issues now surrounding Tanzania itself, but Kenya has possibly generated one of the fastest economy in East Africa within the shortest period of time. I would say within the past 6 months, their economy has grown rapidly. They've been influential in terms of creating business networks with Asia and Russia. So basically, their network with China and Russia is great at the moment, and they are developing rapidly. I don't know much about Uganda, but I think those two countries are like a very strong country that can represent East Africa. Like you clearly say, they're very proud people and they don't really joke for their nationality. They always represent themselves to the fullest. But thank you very much for that. And I think we can now go straight to AFCON. What do you think about the initial group stages of the AFCON? Was it interesting to you? Did you think it was something that you were looking forward to? But to be honest to you, I wasn't looking forward to the first few stages because I did underestimated the Central African and some Eastern African countries anyway before the tournament kicks off. So I did not have the zeal to participate fully in the initial stages of the competition. Now only when like a 1 or 2 games don't begin play, now the tape begin I say, this is a different ball game. So what was your take before the competition starts? When you look at the group stages of how you would anticipate, say, we don't begin already highlight the country the way they qualify now, each and every group. Was it the same for you?
Well, for me, I was excited about the group stage because if you look players the way they play in a European League, going back for go play the African football, it would have been a challenge for them. But the way they all approach, then to the quarterfinal tells you that the mentality as well, the approach in African football also don't change. But one significant thing the way they affect with football, we make them group stage and also you can always say, I'm not interested for go watch. The area of coaches education.
Right.
Africa has as it is, countries have not been able to prioritize their young coaches education without CAF. But like for here now, Netherlands they don't care whether FIFA or UEFA exist. The country itself organizes its own coaching education for its own coaches. And when you get that foundation building stronger, those who are the elite coaches, they'll go into those programs where UEFA and FIFA they look at. But for us in Africa, we've not been able to create what we call now we own African coaches education for we coaches then our country. So these alone they live for let you see then opening stage competitions then you see now gambling most of the coaches then can do. So they can rely more on and that make you see the fight is always there within them and the Europeans them. Oh, release this player on time, make it come. Because there is a gambling way you get for go through. Like Benny McCarthy did said in one of his interviews. He said you look at the way Cameroon play or other teams and they play, then you talk about in countries. You know, he said you need our boys to be playing in European leagues because the intensity and tempo these guys are coming with it's much the same people they are playing here. But our players here, they only play their own league and how tense it is. So this is also a major problem. But to be candid with you, the approach in those preliminary rounds was very, very, very good because it was very exciting. In fact, that set the tone for every phase of this particular tournament now, Morocco. Because when you watch the opening first match, you see the kind of football we play, Chelsea, wow, something is going to happen here. And the players, even in terms of injury, players are not that much injured compared to previous where you get field problem. So it's for me, I'm happy with the kind of exhibition where I see how determined the players were, how determined some of the countries, some shocking results then come out from the preliminary round leading to the final. So that just tells you we are getting there. But how can we stamp our feet when it comes to say we want to be football in power now the world? We should go back and start we own African education. And then those that are in the elite form can say, okay, let me go follow the CAF elite. And what I mean by education, not to just that 3 weeks coaching course. No, this is something you go to school for, you go read book. Because when you talk of the human autonomy, you want to know how beginning they develop. Boys and girls, age 12 and 13, who that they grow past in company, then body mass, what they take, what they take. Psychologically, how for deal with them. So these are things, just wake up one morning, after 3 weeks, I be all the things they know. Dynamic today, if you look, the game don't become so dynamic and in the scientific form that we Africa will not even know what they happen. People they look at what you eat, they look at even the clothes way they put in your body, how heavy it is. They want to let it become more light, we go hands you movement. You say you go play the climate, which kind of shirt where you need for adapt to that climate day so you can perform. So there is a lot where we need for doing this area. But to be candid, for me, I was excited with the exhibition and the young talent, and we really, really stand out. And the home coaches that we don't play in Europe, we don't go take African clubs them as well. Tell we say it's just a matter of time they are getting them. But don't forget, them backroom staff made up of excellent educated Europeans. We don't spend years behind the game.
Give
So
them credit, man. No, I need to agree. I am not going to accept that because that was my next point of discussion. Because again, you don't highlight, say, yes, ex-African professionals who have represented their countries are now coaching their national side. That's a very good start. But why you kind of up now say they have an excellent backing staff with full of European coaches? I disagree with you.
well, it
Anyway, it's
because
facts. I agree.
we don't want to take the education. It is now CAF is also forcing us that they forget match analysis na field. People will analyze real time. It is now. When you tell some federations say they need a match analyst or a sport performance and they ask you what do you mean? Because nobody knows what is that. Or what you
I agree with you that side because again, during the last World Cup, we all see how we have 4 or 5 major African countries that participated, and all their coaches were Africans for the very first time. Yeah, and none of them use foreign coaches. They are all African coaches. And even when you look at this Nations Cup right now, we happens in Morocco, majority of the coaches were Africans, indigenes that have played or represented their countries. But yes, I agree with you. Say the back end staff, you see a lot of Europeans there working, but also CAF is doing extremely well at this point in time. You highlight, say, European clubs or European countries, then they actually work on their coaches, then they give them proper training, then they make sure they get the right facilities for them able to perform to the highest peak. But also, some African countries don't have that resources within their sporting disciplines. For example, tennis, for example, not go get salon coaches the way they say salon government for pay for many good to gain coaching for many camp for can coach people who they
no,
play
I want for
tennis.
only that side T-ball.
Okay.
This is where also we are getting it wrong. State government that has to pay. No.
Okay, well, the issue maker they say governments, when you talk about the national sport, for example, Leon Stars, you don't have anybody else that will be able to facilitate anything with Leon Stars they do except the national, the Minister of Sports. Or you now have NSA, with a National Sport Authority. But what is their role? They should be facilitating between the Leon Stars and the government. So they are like the middlemen. But let's be honest, UK government, for example, they spend a lot of money on grassroots football. So the Premier League itself, they feed enough into the London FA, because the London FA, they put together a package where they benefit the Premier League and all the other leagues the way they inside London. But other sporting disciplines, and they complain, saying they're not getting enough facilities. Like the female game, they complain to say they need to be paid more because their game is not being attended well, which is now a different ball game. So they have the facilities financially within the government coffers for able for invest, but the difference no one at the fact say their own governments are not getting involved in the administrative structure of the national team, for example. But we all see what happens in other African countries, the way sometimes the governments or president or whoever is leading that particular country has so much influence in the national team, which again you can see in very few other European countries, them not as much as you might think. But I think say Osai Migo disagree with you that the fact say yes, in Africa, it's only the government that will be able to fund such training for national coaches for me able to go outside of their country to be trained and come back in. But what in CAF they do right now, CAF they select different coaches them from different parts of Africa and give them training lessons the way they do. Some now South Africa, some now Morocco. There is even one going on right now where they happen in South Africa. So at least then they try. Just like we go say FIFA gets facility, each and every time FIFA gets any kind of coaching or any kind exercise or any kind of thing we get for do with training for any part of the administrative structure of the game, then they now bring come African countries they really get involved. Because again, if we not administrate the African game properly, it affects CAF. And if it affects CAF, it filter down to FIFA. Where Fontaine FIFA not gonna be happy about that because all of the other different continent them, their own league them or their own nations cup the way they happen is being well organized, which means FIFA also they play a great role in that. So in Africa, what if you say government then for prioritize? Because again, Morocco now the government prioritize that particular investment. Reason being they want to focus on investing in sports where possibly a cross section of the country will benefit from. You feel say it is a wrong decision for government to invest in sports?
But T-Boy, one of the what are the key thing when a government responsibility? First one, and for make sure you create an enabling environment. Outside businesses then go strive, citizens then and people then go live. And one of them things in our infrastructure. So when you talk of sport as well, it is a responsibility of government for put their infrastructures then they in place. And when they put them in place, what they can do, then they use them as commercial hub for get money. So the issue say African government and they will pay for make them coach, make them citizen and go abroad for go do coaching course. This is not something we fully talk about because it is not their job. For me, I am a citizen. If I choose, say I want to go get degree in law, is it the government that pay for me for get the degree? No, it is me that pay my money to get the degree in law. So it's the same that cuts across every segment. The thing is, we've not been able to package with institutions and make people see value in their areas.
Yeah, but Desmond, government they give scholarship for lawyers to be trained. Government they give scholarship for doctors to be trained. Government they give scholarship for engineers to be trained. Why should government not give scholarship for sporting personalities to also be trained?
Well, I think this happen more now. We on sub-region in Africa. Yes, for Europe, yeah. So you and I know when you don't get your scholarship from government for go study journalism.
Well, government they give scholarship, but I would say institutions will
very good. Yeah. So you see, government create access for let you get loan for go study quick, and then if you do an early, you pay less than what you for pay where you not do an early. So I believe the biggest problem we get in Africa when I at the burden, everybody realizes okay, me tap not run well. It's the responsibility of government for can make me tap. Yes, because you are paying tax for it. That's the responsibility of government for control the center pipe would run that region there. But when it comes to education that has to do with a skill where they go acquire and then you get for make money out of her, no matter what they give to that country, it's your responsibility for let you educate yourself. The only problem we have in the case of African football is CAF has also been behind. CAF been on the behind long time.
Yeah, that's true.
CAF is emphasizing that FAs then forget pro licensed coaches and national team. When did they start these pro licensed coaches? They started something like 2 years ago in South Africa, a handful of 5 or 10 senior coaches them. And if you look, they were more dominated by South African guys and guys from the East and West Africa, and only Cisse from Senegal, we been happen for go into them causes then they. But you talk of Holland, talk of Belgium, the pool of expert coaches they wouldn't get. These are not just coaches, these are technicians in the game, people who can develop the system that works around the game. So for we not able to brand the sport for that we make money out of it. I went to Ajax for a 3 days course, Tibor. I spent very close to 20 million leons if I change the money in euro I pay for good day. So this is what I paid for. But the package and branding behind it, with what you get there, it add value to you. So now if I want to go work, I look for somewhere that go pay me very close to 50 million because oh yeah, I don't spend something like 20 million for go for 3 or 4 days training. So I want somewhere who will give me something similar to that so I go able cover what you don't come out. But how many of we believe say this is the way forward for developed sport? Everybody believes in a free, and this free. This is why Africa is still stagnated. See, okay, for example, now we are talking about East Africa hosting this tournament coming. What has they done? The first package where they put to FIFA to CAF is this. They say they want for rehabilitate and upgrade the facilities there. So what have you been doing all this while?
True.
So you see, because of the tournament now, they can upgrade other facilities them. And after the tournament, who say they go pull money for upgrade them? Now you get for can put the weight bid on the government cover. We for go for health and other things them. And you get for go take loan now. We hope the tournament they are going to bring them money then they back. And all the nations then where they try for host and East Africa, we talk of Kenya, Uganda, and
Tanzania.
Tanzania, they are all thinking of facelift of the stadiums then. So what have they been doing all this while? And this is not the whole country. This is just few areas they are trying to go give a facelift. But what about the other areas that we get for add value to look at us Sierra Leone? We are struggling for renovate, not even a new one, for renovate an old historical monument.
No, we're not talking about that.
No,
Then a
but
program
I'm
on its
just
own.
referencing it,
I know.
We're struggling for renovate them, for waiting for less citizens they use them. And these people are upgrading facilities for other Africans for come for world for African Cup of Nations. So our problem has been around the education and value and then the expectation on governance. In the UK, me and you they talk about the UK. Government create an enabling environment. The Premier League stands on its own. They are now pouring money. In fact, clubs are now pouring money in their communities because they believe they want to grow the home talent for fit into the system. So it has to do with citizen understanding that not everything is government. And this is what we lack now with sport.
So you say overall, Motsepe don't do very well for change the narrative of African football because, to be honest, I don't even know who was the previous CAF president, but he has made the presidency to become something of a past where everybody will be aware of, say, okay, now this is not the president right now. You feel to say you don't do extremely well within this period of time where he take over as president of CAF?
Well, he don't try a level best because if you look at the things and way they put in place now, mind you, don't forget the government and continuity.
Yeah.
And this CAF business then gets strict administrative or operational model where you come in, not go easily change things like how you want for change. So that's why you see the light of Samuel Eto'o, Didier Drogba, and all the rest are fighting for going to this system because they believe say there is a lot for change in we approach in football when it comes to Africa. And if the governing body, which is CAF, is not ready for change, then it's going to be a big problem for we. But he don't really try in your level best since he come into power. But that notwithstanding, Are Africans satisfied? Are there problems? Yes, there are still problems. And everybody is crying, say, oh, more needs to be done. The wage bill, money needs to be shared equally. Facilities needs to be given. It's the same thing we're talking about, T-Boy. Everybody is expecting CAF. But what are the other people doing who are expecting CAF? What are the country also doing to generate money? Is UK waiting for FIFA? Is the Netherlands waiting for FIFA? No, they don't wait
No,
for FIFA.
no.
They're holding. So we could be saying Musepi, CAF, but this it is also something that it's our responsibility.
So
But he has
do
tried.
you think bringing in ex players, because we know that Mosepi did not actually, well, I don't know whether he played football. He may have owned a club in South Africa, which I believe. But do you think bringing in somebody who has played the game will make a huge difference in how the administrative structure of the game is going to be run? Because I don't know whether these guys have the full capacity. They are not sentimental about the way these things should be run. Do you think it will affect the game if they bring in somebody like Eto, who is desperately involved to become the next CAF president? Do you think it will make a difference?
Well, it has to do with education because most of the problem we get now with we don't play the game. We say because we play the game, we see the organization, we able to go administer. But mind you, the administrative side of the game is totally different than just putting the cone and passing the ball.
Yeah.
There you dey go meet administrators them. Wey we don't spend time dey run na the field for let we get six pack wey go aid we cardio make we be active. Na so then people don spend years getting administrative education for working dem capacities dem dey. So you come in say because you na been the best world player, you just want for can give directive because you don't even know. And mind you, anybody wey don play organized football wey get a structured, you know say from the moment you enter that club, everything is organized for you. You meet your bag, they don't set am for you. You know for drive a car no more calm. Interview has been set, which you dey wear today, outside you travel, you ticket everything. Now after when you left the game, now you dey come to real life for begin sort out your own problems dem. And that's where some of them are struggling. Some of all of us are struggling because if somebody be don't buy you ticket for you, now you don't come. Now you say go begin arrange some of them things and they for yourself, then it turn out to be a problem. But we need forget a synergy. We not totally forget the whole control of people that we don't play the game, but we need forget a synergy of administrative people there and players that we educated as well. We see the value for go get the administrative education and then you can transfer within they don't learn in the organization, tactical analysis and skill development into the administrative side. Because if I come, then na football I don't play. Then my deputy director they tell me say this is not how we're supposed to go. But me, they tell and say we own system na straightforward with the go. And then he doesn't want to go with me. So what thing that happen? We get clash.
Okay, yeah, true.
Yes, so that's why you really need, and the good part is FIFA has also created an educative platform for we all. So ex-players, them, whether you play amateur or whatever, you get opportunity for go to proper football administrative course, where they give you certificate. They even get law courses and now for ex-footballers. So that alone, and then get the money, the capacity without they give to them, put them in that position for them able to navigate themselves and administer change in African football. But look at the one that we don't come for run the FAs in the country, they're struggling. Samuel Eto, wise as he is, look at how he struggle for even curtail in colleagues that wouldn't play the game together. See the ego that is
Yeah.
around them, you know. And Senegal is doing very well, bringing Alaji Diouf around the boys. He's not a coach, but he's always there. He's on the field training with
But
them.
Alaji Jif, not the any coach we can say they cannot get option. No.
Yeah, but this is what we need. This
In
is
a
what we
bulldozing
need
way
as well.
because he wants to be there.
Yeah, this is what we
He's
need.
very passionate.
You see, this is what we need. And if you look top European countries, they will understand that this is the value. They've also turned to this part.
Right.
But this is what we need because you cannot just wake up in the morning and say because you score 100 goal, you can't become a journalist. No, you can't. It's a total different ball game.
Now, round two of the African Cup of Nations, when we get into the first knockout stages, what was your expectation? Now, you don't begin to see the shiftering of the dominant nations, them and the one they really come for Kantawa, we don't want to go easily. Do you think which hemisphere, if you to say, perform well, the West, the South, the North, or the East? Which hemisphere, if you to say, perform well on the second stage when are the first set of knockouts? Matches they will begin play.
Well, it was very, very, very competitive because that's where you know, say you either day in or day out. So if you look at the tactical approach, they be very, very much pragmatic on all the teams that we qualify. Because you know, at one any mistake you make, you somebody punish you, that's where you go. So it was very, very tough for let you just win the game on the paper. Everything was won on the field. That's the unique part of when you're coming from the preliminary round going to round two. We probably would either approach quarterfinal to the semi knockout stage for go to the last 16. Because when you come in the first, you just want to see the players then. The method I don't get if you can walk. You get your 4 points, you should not corner the weight. Now you don't go to that stage there. How do you approach it? If you look, some people then approach them, play free flow football. Some clubs and some countries then approach them with a very low block system. Some do them in the orthodox way, play that same football we use for play. We get the ball sent along. If we score, score. If we not score, we say no score per week. But it was exciting to see that the tactical part of the game also done the change in Africa. Yes, you see that tactical. People are very much now organized, and players are very much disciplined in their position. We know they see them tackle, they will be getting Robert Song, then 10 and
then fly tackle them
with
when they
the
broke
flight
foot.
tackle, they will be getting pass afar them in the sand. So you know now
Now player that you console.
so now
Pass
you
a fire
get,
and then I will bull them, eh?
yeah, you see. So now you get things the way they analyze what you do, and on the spot then they pick you. So that alone don't show say the tactical and the technical ability also don't they improve in with games them going forward. But that stage is always a crucial stage. That's why um, teams them will go there. If they fail for prepare for the tournament earlier and then they can't get locked and go there, they will definitely be out.
Were
But
you
that's why
shocked
the
that
surprise.
most of the few Arab nations that we've been there in other stages they were knocked out? Algeria, Tunisia. Were you shocked for them to be knocked out at those initial stages of the knockout series?
I was not shocked because if you go back to the last couple of years, they've all been struggling. They've
Right.
all been struggling putting in the house together. I think I do believe in Africa, especially within the north, the most consistent powerhouse for now is Morocco. Yes, it's Morocco. But all the rest, even Egypt has been struggling. Even
Yeah.
Egypt has been
Yeah.
struggling. So not to talk about Algeria, Tunisia, they've all been struck. So for me, them coming out into something we a surprise at. There is a player we they play for Manchester United. I think now the West Ham was. I don't forget the name. Where they play for Tunisia. He say either Algeria, I think Tunisia. He say them for just scrap the whole Tunisian Football Federation and then start new again.
Well, you know, say Tunisia don't they struggle for a couple of years now for the African football because again they have been an unsettled state, but you know they see the unsettlements within much not Tunisia because less is being spoken about the problem with them. They have a serious crisis in Tunisia, and
Yeah.
that has affected the game greatly. Because even when it comes to representation, then they struggle with representation because they have a huge player base now France and Belgium,
They
but they
used to.
struggle. Yeah, they're still struggling. They're struggling to attract some of their players now because their players are not confident enough to come and represent Tunisia. So they have some serious issue now the FA, which I think they're trying to do. So I'm not surprised with a particular player they see them for demolish the entire national team and regroup from start because I feel say they are struggling. But
Okay.
since they are not in our own hemisphere, we don't get to see the problem that they're going through.
But we all
What's
the
your
feel am. We all the feel am because now then start the first Arab Spring na the world.
yeah,
Make
true,
somebody wake
true.
up for
And
injustice, keep
that
power by
hasn't been
himself.
settled up till date anyway.
And
They have
and
serious
and
issues still
and
ongoing.
for now, they and Libya now the short route where Africans and they take say them for kind of Europe.
True.
So it is also they are not just fighting themselves, but they are also fighting external problems they want to them cause them.
Yeah. So that is one of the problems they have. They still have some serious unrest in their city. But now let's come to the last knockout stages as we try for gets to the final build up of the review. What were your take on the repeat of Senegal Egypt when I'm in the final inside Cameroon? This time around it's the semi final. What was your take on that particular match? Do you think both countries played to the max, or Senegal was pumping all the fume on that particular match because Egypt were seems to be lacking behind a lot. There was no fire in them. The Egypt that we know will come at you. It was a different ball game this time around. What do you think may have been the reason? Is it because of the energy of the Senegalese team, or it's just because Egypt were not up to it?
Well, they are also struggling. Mind you, for let you be a captain for that for a country, score them kind goals in there, and then you come back for can coach. So which you get for look at. Many a times we can say we don't play the game because of our experience we supposed for coach. No. But again, go look the coaching experience. The Hussein brother there, how many years have they been coaching? What is their experience? What is their backroom experience in coaching? And you are coming to deal with stars, big stars. And not to down your days who have been playing anymore. These guys are playing. These guys are playing in the era where technology is what determines what happened after. Although yes, Egypt is the hub for football analysis and everything, but they are also struggling for which side they want them teams them for reach. Of course, when it comes to West Africa, they've always have edge over we. But this time around, if you look at what happened at the, I think the quarterfinal leading to the semi-final, leading to the semi-final, what happened with the Senegalese, of course, this is also knowing your identity.
True.
And this is some of the things that some of us would encourage you picking out on Cambodia for say. No matter the opportunity we get here, so I come out somewhere before I can born you. If you had the time to go there, go there. The light of Patrick Vieira, when they start up this Damba Academy in Senegal, people were asking, oh, boy, now France, you don't born all this while. Why are you thinking of coming back? I visited there for see the history of the football, youth development and waiting. By 10, they just begin open then sand field them across Dakar. Where every corner we go, you meet them sand field and they picking and they play. But when these people hold on to that value, they begin identify themselves outside them come out. Waiting happen. The kids that are born now in Europe who get access or play for top clubs, they are all running back home. Because not that the one that we play for France or other states they make a mistake, but it was just nobody was there to identify yourself. And that's also what peace does, huh? This is also what peace does in the game. If a country gets stability, get peace in economy, the flow, all the picking they were born abroad, then they can't because they don't see them safe.
Yeah, true.
When there is political turmoil and everybody is fighting for that seat, they don't want to come in and invest because they think their investment is not safe and even their life is also not safe. And this is what Senegal has been able to offer these guys. So coming back, don't give them opportunity for make them get pool of younger players that will play across. Look today, the Champions League will play right across so many teams and they will get Senegalese players there. It's because of their approach. So Egypt, they've always been having their problems, but when it comes to them bigger tournament, they are so they've always get across. But this time around, you're playing with a new generation that understand what's happening. And look at the goal where Sadio Mane scored.
I know.
Was just well, yeah, and this is football. Why you not expect them for a break? Now they break. That was the
Yeah.
only clean shot, and it ended up to send them back home.
So now we talk about the final a little bit now because I want to go down to the end point of this conversation. Now, the final was between Morocco and Senegal, and we all know at the moment there is a huge controversy surrounding that particular match. If you say Morocco go into that match for Lossam without any kind of compromise, or if you say if there was no controversy within that match, Morocco would have easily won it, based on the fact that complaints begin for calm before the Morocco Senegal game, complaints begin for camp between the Morocco and Cameroon game, concerns begin for raise the Morocco and Nigeria. So these are all some of the controversies that started off the Morocco way to the way to the final. Do you think it was a call for concern, or not just a genuine concern, say Morocco were favored in all chapters? And let's take into consideration they are a very good side as well. They possibly be the best team in Africa at the moment. But do you think say they get that kind of controversy where create some elements of cloud over their own success?
But Tibo, go back to look at the matches and what they win. Would not imagine what they win them matches then.
Of significant margin, conveniently.
Yes, but did they just first 10 minute break into and get? No, they struggled.
Yeah.
Like against Tanzania also, they
No,
are.
their initial startup was not strong. They were struggling
Yes.
initially on their initial startup.
Yeah. So you see, again, even the coach at one point there's some pressure where he face where he tell journalists and say, look, this is our job. We're in to be out. So I can there also tell tomorrow they can sack me. I can go somewhere else, they can sack me. This is what we signed for, and this is our job, and this is our life. So the people that been on they already cry for performance because of the stars they will get. And this is also the problem sometimes we African clubs and countries and they face. When you get multiple stars there, people just think the result is like Real Madrid they play Barcelona or Real they go win. Before you realize Barcelona don't put six because they have the DNA, they have the system. And the Real Madrid get stars there where they can combine together for give you that flamboyant football. But when you go to Barcelona, they have a DNA, they have an identity. They don't just play because they want to play. They play their identity, and their identity will demolish you.
It's
So
blood,
this is
feast, and
also
glory. Everything
yes.
goes.
So this is also what is affecting some of the bigger African nations. There. With bigger stars coming in, the emotion they take to on with the fans and say, oh, I by paper Morocco for win all them games and they by 12-0, despite being the host. But it doesn't turn out like that. People begin to see the struggle. So even the game will end up for bring the me I not even left for dwell on wetin happen because mistakes. This is not the very first time teams they don't walk out of the field because of things are not going on right. It has happened, but the only thing it's a precedent, and the precedent is something we're not good for let it happen because if you look at the work put behind for let this tournament take place, mind you, this is the very one of the first tournaments you see all the European players and people like Gary Lineker, Rio Ferdinand, and all the rest. They came down to Morocco, watched the final from the stand. They were there. In previous
Yep.
competitions, these guys they don't even care. And these guys are now on their podcast advocating that Africa needs to be respected because what they are offering in terms of the game means a lot. So when then stars they are come together, if you get a manager who not able to manage the ego within stars, then they it become because if not for talent, that Morocco, anybody will go and get talent. But prior to that, what happened? Some were injured, and now it depends on who are you going to choose from. So this is also something, but it was not an easy battle for them. I'm sure they did not go to that tournament thinking for become second place. They were there to win.
Yeah.
It just happened, say, like we took in say football na biscuit. So they expect them for they broke, now they broke.
So now let's talk about the controversy. I realize say, or I don't read a couple of articles that we CAF the under serious investigation against some of the players that we allegedly walk out of the pitch, and some other disciplinary decisions that we have to say CAF one for take against some of the club officials them and some of the officiating officers them of other different countries them, but they haven't taken any kind of disciplinary investigation process against the Moroccans them, officials them, and ball boys them will be they categorically clearly remove the face towel of the 2 or 3 goalkeepers then where they will play against on a very crucial match. Do you think that's a fair judgment on the other countries, the official, for investigating what has happened, leaving this other specific important issue out of the way?
Well, it is very key that CAF don't open an investigation into what happened. This is the very first thing they could have done, but it's not still late it because we get so many in their sleeves for look at. So now they don't open. Hearings are going. So we just need for wait and see which thing we get for common. But to be candid with you, the way forward for lessons and way learn from this tournament. The lessons and way host countries then for make sure that they're able to leverage the tournament for long-term economy and cultural gain. Then I want to host countries then for look at first. Therefore, try very hard to see they're able to leverage the tournament for let it be a long-term economical and cultural gain. Because now this tournament done in Morocco, the one that we don't come we see there. Do you want them to come back tomorrow? That's the cultural gain we're talking about there. The economical value. When I get something where they don't go on a market, they wouldn't see the one for buy. This is where Africans should be turning, not at the referee's decision. The referee decision, these are human decisions, and the referee not listen to even what we call intrinsic, when I own value as a human being. It been get all cost for tell the VAR referee say, look, the moment of the game now, it is me that controls it. I'm not listening to technology anymore. I'm not going to blow this ball because it will create waiting enough for create. And at the end of the day, happen. So there is a lot of things and we CAF get for look at. CAF get for make sure say yes, and they get the proper visibility for commercial growth, then for build commercial success from this African 225 where they don't get, and also for broader international media partnerships that we don't forget. Like for now, they say FIFA say anybody now, journalists who want for go take accreditation, you get for go through your FA for let them give you the code. So just imagine if you've been on the wrong book criticizing a country we don't understand what na criticism, or criticizing an FA we don't understand what na criticism. You as a journalist, would you go there?
No.
So this is also things that we would look at. But to be candid with you, it's good that CAF don't begin open up. And again, I don't know, but sometimes we as spectators or people into the game, we carried away by emotions. Because if you look, most of the things we all talk around as Africans, it's our emotion. It's our emotion. Even Akimi going to stop those boys from taking the towel, it's just an emotion. But these are things they know they exist. When European leagues and they play, keepers and towel they hang at the goalpost. Do you go take and but don't forget, football or sport has a mind game side, huh?
Yeah, psychological
That's a mind side
warfare on the
we
pitch.
look at. So all
Yeah.
those things were done as a mind game. I know of a team. I know of a team where set a tactics. They tell the players and say, "When we go the first 20 minutes, let we hold them tight. After the 20 minutes, the next one we keep her for the forerunner going continuously." Yes.
Desmond, let me just now some coaching skills now that we don't say you doing your playing this way.
No, I know
I
of
don't go see it now, Dandy.
I know of a team. It's serious. We do this.
Na salo the team there or na you?
I said I know of a team. This was their plan. So everybody they go into a match, you get a plan,
Yeah.
and who knows? Maybe these guys they don't plan all these things. We see the tournament now, Morocco or Egypt also. When the Moroccan goalkeeper they look in water bottle, see the players that way they can kick, whether
Kick
they
the
go
penalty.
right or they go left. I think I don't.
No, well, Danny have been the World Cup, I think, in
No,
Germany where they
it
get that
happened in Africa, an
octopus.
African couple. I
On the
think na
African Cup of
Cameroon.
Nations. No, I don't remember that one.
Na Cameroon. It was the same Morocco. Or it was
Oh
this.
yes, I remember.
Yes.
Yes. Na Cameroon where somebody in WhatsApp bottle I mean the prediction points.
I mean the
Yes, I remember.
prediction point all beside
Yes, I
he
remember.
wrapped the bottle with in
Mm-hmm.
towel. So
I do
just
remember. Yes, I
imagine
do remember.
if
I
you
do.
get a psychologist coach na the side where they
It was in
study the human
Cameroon.
psychology of wetin dey happen around, you go tell that player say that towel go open and let's see wetin dey there. And then wetin he bring am, he bring destabilization at the field, fet comot, say why you wan go church me towel. So these are all mind games when
Yeah, but you feel say therefore let Morocco off for doing that because it was a deliberate act. And
well
it's a distraction for both sides, especially for the goalkeepers. Because the excuse now, well, they get various different excuses. The one excuse when me didn't say the fact say the keeper they're not able for dry them gloves and they will have sweat over their eyes for them not to see what is happening clearly. So if they're not guiding gloves, the ball will be slippery in the hand. That's one. Two, they say the towel and gets voodoo pan them where they stop goals from going in. Then the third one can be just an element of distraction. We are not going to support at all. But what if you say, apart from the distraction, was there any kind of specific myth way been there around in removal of towels, especially for Nigeria and Senegal on those two crucial matches?
well they say na bad student na dey complain but in pen not to so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, not so. I don't know if I get the expression clear. Say either a bad student they come or bad workman they complain but in tool. Not so.
Is it the evil that men do lives after them? Kind
So
of ideology?
you not go to play in a top club like a Paris Saint-Germain. You see clearly they whip their face. There you go to African Cup of Nations, you go fetch somebody for towel.
True, I agree. So basically,
So
it's
so
double standard because you've
so
seen it to the highest.
it's a bad workman they complain but the tool.
Yeah,
Go
true.
there and play the game. Who say you see Brazil, then they go complain about towel. They go and play and beat you. You don't.
Well, Abdul Narichat say it was Egyptian goalkeeper. Then at the Nations Cup with me happen at Cameroon.
Yes,
Because
yes.
the Egyptian goalkeeper was making some significant saves them after the number one goalkeeper gets an injury just on their first match, which I saw myself, and it was an exciting period. But again, we see in performance throughout the period of the tournament right up to the end, and we realize say maybe sometimes we get some form of prediction from the WhatsApp bottle. But let's now come to the end of it. And lessons learned, you don't highlight one, not so. And
Yeah.
then second lesson, you feel to say the game go get an element of concern, being that in the next couple of months, then they host the WAFCON at the same Morocco. You feel to say it go affect the nature of the WAFCON because the WAFCON now gets for be the immediate successful story after the Nations Cup, will don't happen, and then the WAFCON the counter in the next couple of months. You think say it go affect them that greatly?
Well, to tell you that nothing is going to affect what has happened in Morocco, just recently, FIFA don't approve, then call it a 360 project, wherein they build football fields them for communities them. They don't approve them for Morocco. They are
Yeah,
going
but
to do it.
Desmond, I've been to Morocco.
No, no, forget
Honestly
about you
speaking,
being there. Forget about you being there. This
no,
is
again,
something.
I am looking at the kind of infrastructure every single club in Morocco have a ground. Up till maybe second division, I'm not gonna say maybe down to third division, but up till second division, they all get football ground, they all get mini stadiums. So is it an element of over emphasizing on the culture of football in Morocco, or is just a gesture of compensation?
In fact, let tell you one of the forward recommendations and we some school of analysts then put together for AFCON going forward. One, they say now for strengthening youth pathway domestic competitions.
Yeah, then I agree because
So
again,
just imagine
now for develop the following of the game.
if you
Yeah,
don't get those facilities, how would you develop the pathway for picking them?
but like I say, in Morocco, it's a different ball game. Desmond,
Then
to be very honest to you,
I dey work with a coach na Holland here, so when na Morocco he comot.
okay.
He say when he go na Morocco, wetin he see, he felt bad that dem get all them facilities and they people never coach the pikin dem properly.
Thank you. They have the facilities.
So
Because
that's
I
what I
saw
mean.
it.
So it has to be
It's
what?
there.
The change of mentality. You could put
I
all
agree with
those
the mentality,
facilities
but the facility is
together.
there.
You could put all those facilities together, but if the right educated people are not around to educate these kids, and if you've not prioritized that for the picking them pathway in life, then what are you putting there for? But for them, again, mind it business. All the African Cup of Nations and World Cup qualifiers that we play, because some African country no one invest in stadiums, the money goes to Morocco. So that's one of the things. And when you talk, you
Yeah,
say
that's beneficial for them economically. But
yeah.
if you say third lessons learned will have been something we CAF for do for generate more viewership in person as in the grounds for make a huge difference for the turnouts of some of the matches there will be the CC the stadium we are totally empty.
In fact, one of the analysts they within them put as them number one key point is say they says CAF make sure so they expand the global visibility commercial growth. Say them for build on waiting they don't see now this 2025 for explore broader international media partnership we will bring better quality now the globe market growth and also tournament profile.
That might increase visibility of turnouts na the matches, but I don't think that will take it that much because
Well,
what
this is
has
what they are
changed.
advising CAF now to do.
Yeah, but I know, but what has changed? We not need too much of the media emphasis right now. Now the fact say you have 5 point something billion online views of this particular African Nations Cup. That shows digital wise it is extremely successful, possibly even closer to the World Cup. Extremely successful. So now what I'm saying is there any mechanism to have the physical participation of fans going to the grounds and supporting countries? Doesn't matter whether they are from those countries or not, because that is what we saw in this AFCON and the previous ones. Majority of the matches were empty. Majority of the matches of these other countries that may not, for example, if you say the game that we play between Algeria and Sudan, was it Algeria or Tunisia and Sudan? That was well attended. So I think say my own lessons learned in that now for accommodate more people and open the borders more for people to come in and maybe facilitate a cheaper source of ticketing purchase where people are able to afford.
But Tibo, this is not only a CAF problem. This is a problem of us Africans. For example,
Well, yeah,
fan
it's
clubs,
CAF
fan
is
clubs,
Africa.
fan clubs, African supporters them. Then they expect government for give them money to so. Now Salo they say we dey go play in Liberia. Now FA na im put boss for left fans and go not to so.
No, down there I disagree.
So now
I'll
European
tell you why I
so
disagree. If it
now
is
European
neighboring,
so
if
Holland
not
they go play.
neighboring Liberia,
Yes,
neighboring
Holland they go
Liberia,
play.
all the games, all the national games played in neighboring Liberia, Sierra Leone had a huge amount of following
No,
that
but what
attended
they
that
try for
match.
say is the government to provide bus for people them for go. This we are talking about here now. Say Holland they play. You think it's the government that provide money for the fans we can see? No.
No, they have a specific fan club, national
Yes,
fan club.
very
That
good.
national fan club is being facilitated by the national team itself. They create fund for them
Yes,
because
but
wherever the national team goes, those group of people will go with them on a regular basis. Salon self get that quarter there anyway because
yeah,
again,
but again, for them it is not just the fan club. It is also citizens buy into the idea. Citizens prioritize for good support then
yeah,
country then.
they are volunteers. I agree.
Yes, citizens like that. They like for go they go dance, go create them, pack them. But we dey think of it first, man. I not build me Oseta, they go left and for go sit down in Morocco.
Yeah, well, you see, that's the point.
So
Passion.
so
So
so the,
basically,
the, 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 the problem is Even the nations them get for make sure say them prioritize the approach to football because every citizen foresee the value of football.
True.
Then when the citizen then begin see the value, then they begin see the need for drive them cars them across for go watch. Zidane was in Morocco watching his son and Algeria till tournament till them come out. How many other African nations or even African parents where go sit down watch them picking and take come out there?
Oh, Daniel, I will challenge you on that. I will tell you why I will challenge you on that. In the UK presently, as we speak, you get salon young bobo then we the na various different premiership clubs then we some of them parents then don't move location to where the boys are at that teenage age before they turn 18, 17, because they need a parental guidance. So basically now they are moving. I will say 20 years ago, Sierra Leonean parents cannot be bothered to do that. They will not sacrifice anything for their kids when it comes to football. They will not. But since the rise of African players in the Premiership done so rapid, most African parents are now moving away from their comfort zone to the areas then where them picking and they play, because one, the club they facilitate them movement there. You are like a guardian for that particular player, and then they pay you and rent you an accommodation, and possibly now you not possible to look after that picking the in affairs whilst he is in an academy. So I'm not gonna say for 20 years ago, but currently as we speak, people are flying, they are going to places for go watch them picking the play. We
You
have
don't come
run.
back. You don't come back to what I talk just now. Say we for prioritize the game in a manner where parent or anybody there around that go see am more attractive.
Yeah,
So
it
now,
is.
if you know say inside 1 week, wetin dem dey pay you pikin, na wetin you don work for 5 years for. So why you know would they be and they support am
Thank
anytime?
you. And that is happening now in the
So
game in Africa, even here.
so
Even
it
Salon
so
Self now,
so
even Salon Self now, the rates at which people and they invest in football, you know, still get it because people are still doubting the fact say football should be an investment or a business at some point. People are still not too sure because they not believe in that type of business. But it is big business, like we say. The African players, them of African descent, were playing at the World Cup previous years ago, went back to their countries of origin, like Senegal, Mali, Ivory Coast, even Ghana, for increase the capacity of the sports grassroots level. We still haven't been able to do that because
yeah,
most
but
of
that's what I
our
mean.
ex-professionals they really go salon for go sit and go set up, then they go take ball for go give picking and for go play where anybody can provide them football. That to me is rubbish. Set up an academy, whether small scale or any scale. Craig Bellamy did that in Sierra Leone and he has no ties to Sierra Leone. And you say, Ben no say you work under that kind of academy structure there. You know what it was like when Craig Bellamy were there. And we see the produce or the product of the players that will go under Craig Bellamy Academy. Some of them they played at the Premiership a couple of years ago, and most of them are playing all everywhere in Europe. That's the kind of encouragement where we, as Sierra Leoneans, them now they put into the game, especially for the one who don't play at the highest level. We still haven't got an academy setting in Sierra Leone with all the players that will get playing at Inter Milan, AC Milan, Calgary, inside London, and other places of Asia. Come on, let's be honest, Desmond. If you had gone to such level, I didn't doubt say you know we don't get academy in Salon.
but
True.
even the one way are not good. We get something like a four to five town where
Thank you.
Liverpool we fit for develop. Even one not good. But again, this is the effect of poverty. This is the effect of
Um,
poverty. T-boy, when Steven Gerrard finished for play ball, he hear and say he left England for go stay in America,
no, he left England for good coach somewhere. It's
go
not
coach
not
somewhere.
not to stay.
Not to stay, not to
Yeah.
so. But the effect of poverty on some of we come out now. So if you eat safe, pass now by God in power. Will you get what you dey look for first?
Now for
So
what billions?
for go build house. Outside you want build the house.
Now inside free on, inside not be
No,
don't look for you, then
no
care
forget
for
first but the free throw. Outside you want now. Outside you been there where you play, I think you want get safety first.
true.
Because the free throw or any salary content, what go happen anytime you go burn your house. But when you build na Sweden, na France, or
Oh,
outside
okay,
you
yeah, you
buy
mean
building,
those places, yes,
those
okay.
places. So you money is safe, your life is safe, and then your standard of living as well, they improve. So this is me they look at and say, this is the reason a lot of them are trying their little best. But again,
I disagree. Their little best is not good enough to take balls. Seriously, there's. Come on, I disagree. You always sit on so. I know the amount of investment we don't make in sport. Take football out of the picture. In sport, in football, you've been running little academies right up to the provincial towns of Sierra Leone, Kono, Makeni, and all those places. And I know for sure because I don't go see your handiwork. Some of these players, okay, I'll give you a typical example. I was in Kono last year or year before last, and I'll tell you what I experienced there. We were at the Diamond Stars National Football Grounds. Guess who was coming to Kono for distribute balls?
really,
Football. And I was really upset because I'm thinking, player of your caliber should not come to that particular town. Also, you say he paints them, come on. He's a proud guy, proud Cyril. No disrespect. You can't take that away from him. But you have to set up an academy, not to come and give people handouts like football and football. These are things that we should be doing because we haven't played football in any high capacity. So we therefore look at what thing are your contribution towards sports. Not if you can't give 50 ball, you can't give 5 best. I do that every day in my life. I expect somebody to do better than that. If I call you player name, you go shock.
no, I know,
We
but
were
again,
there, and this player alongside we, when me just don't say I dey give 30 or 50 footballs, I will contribute towards the kids. I will even take over the administrative responsibility of that particular club day because it was like a youth football. And then alongside me, I get this international superstar. They set up a ball and invest giveaways. That's a shame. You can't afford to do that, Desmond. Because again, what is that going to do? What difference is that going to make? When they play with all the 10 ball and then done, what happens next? Set up an academy, for God's sake. You have the land, you have the resources, you have the money. And we're not doing that. That's a shame. Honestly speaking, that's a shame. It is a shame for the ex and the current and whatever professionals that we don't play football as alone to the highest peak. And they're not able to do a simple, basic, small scale academy in Sierra Leone to speak is a disgrace.
well, we're trying. They're trying. All of us are trying.
Not good. It's not good enough. Desmond, you are trying. I will give you that. You are
No,
trying. Some of
all
us are
of us are
trying.
trying. There are some
Few
of
more
them as
others are
well.
trying. But the worst of it all, there are a high expectation. But you don't name more than 4 or 5 players that we don't play in Europe. We don't go set up academy at their own hometown or not. Okay, these are not even players who were
But
born in
again,
Africa.
T boy,
Mm-hmm.
I want to share something with. I don't work with picking them.
Yeah,
T
no,
boy,
that's
do you know what it takes when poverty now you name, for let you understand, say giving back to society. It should be a must, not something them for encourage you for. Do you know what it takes?
it
Because
takes more than passion.
some of these kids, their first point of admiration, now that Motuka would see Messi the drive.
True.
And when they get that contract, that's the one. That lady where they close to Messi. I want to rub skin with that kind of lady. That earring when I see David Beckham put, I want to put that one first on me ear. But you know the thing saying also it come out. Up to now in playing they use max the hole. So how can he first think of
I think you
investment?
ever tell what Max Diolo and understand me that clearly.
You know, how can he think of an investment? Whether investment they go help keep in families them going for tomorrow. Because if you not get investment, you dey gigi to your family them. At one point, the money go down. But when you get an investment, the investment they grow a turnout over for you. Whatever you give to your family might not affect your business. But again, this come into the kind of education when people are setting up these infrastructures. These kids, are they willing for listening? And that's why, for me, I'm super excited and happy for see this pace at which some of the young boys and where I work with don't they understand about life. Their ego don't they change from that bling bling to understanding, okay, at me 40, 46, if I don't get better money in my pocket, then my colleagues and were having the laugh when I was 28 driving that big car, maybe they might have been better than me. So let manage my situation properly. This is what I'm happy about them. But to be candid with you, T, Salone or Africa, we dey far when it comes to football education and investment. We are far from it because people don't see it as an investment. People see it as an opportunity and a way out of poverty. And if we not stop for see am that kind way dey, then nobody will be valued to go invest in am. Until we see and say not a way of not a way out of poverty, but now a way to education and a way to investment, then it becomes a business. Don't forget, Tibo, we not only for the look at we always say we not build stadium to. What about the one where they claim agents around the players then?
It ain't
What
worse.
have they invest
No,
in
that
the
one ain't worse.
community?
Even worse. Because again, that has been micromanaged by just few or one individual. Can you imagine the whole of Sierra Leone now wanging official football agents apparently to speak? We get?
Well, now maybe that one in the claims in I mean inget,
The
but
one,
don't we get a lot of people the way they do them. The only thing where you know monopoly, yeah. Anyway,
Sam.
it is what it is, T-boy.
You get for sale. I want to say I'm not hesitate for sale. Monopoly is a devilish thing in Sierra Leone because it not get no
Yes.
benefits to the
No,
nation.
I'm telling you,
It not get no benefit to the nation.
I don't train players the way people call me, say, Desmond, I want this player. I say, take and go. I say, take, look the documentation, take and go. Go do anything with them. Don't come and give me back anything. But as long as the player you able manager, let him make life and come back and make him family. But if I was monopolizing them for my own selfish ego, I will keep them within my cycle, and at the end of the day, they don't benefit. But so, and this is what is happening. But it is what it is, man.
No balance. So
Africa,
it's
Africa
not.
as
It's
a
not.
whole,
It is what it is.
Africa as a whole need for learn from how can we see football not only as a tool for education, but as an investment. Because just in I can tell some people that I was in Gambia, I don't go Gambia 3 or 4 or 5 times. The investment in Gambian football, it starts with private people. Then go and build one artificial turf. People they rent and go and come, go and come, go and come, go and come, go and come. It brings money.
Mm-hmm.
But in our own context now, Salon, when you build those facilities, the community then first priority now for the go pray there. Yes. Now for the go say na community property, it should be free of charge. Do I for
So there is
God?
no kind of
So
benefits coming back to the
yeah,
person
so
we don't go
that
build the
that that,
institution.
that business-minded approach, it is not there. Say na do am for business. No. People in government they go use them facilities, they don't even pay. So where do you think the money is coming from? What is for community is for community because you pay tax for it. But what is for business that has to make it become more sustainable? Come on, everybody needs for pay your side of the day.
True. All right. Thank you very much, Desmond. And I believe say we contribution towards the review of AFCON has been great. We don't talk about a few things that we now the recommendation from CAF and other analysts. Then we watch the tournaments. It would also highlight we own concerns and we own recommendation of things they will for land going forward. And what we talk about say right now, now some of the things they will for land as Africans or African countries, then they participate in sports to the fullest for be able for increase the capacity and knowledge and economical value of what the game stand for. So Des, thank you very much once more. What will be your final message to viewers then watching right now? And what thing will be you take home of this particular Nations Cup? Because my own take home is slightly different. So what will be your own take home lesson or take home advice where you could put to yourself and possibly Sierra Leoneans watching and Sierra Leoneans administrating the game of football in Sierra Leone? What would be your message to them?
Well, for me, first, I'll go on for tell we fans and thank you because it is always them where they give it. Because if we kind of talk, nobody not listen to we, nobody not watch we comment, then it means we're just doing it for ourselves. But them where they with you online, thanks to them as well. But for me, my take home for this tournament will be let we remember the landmark where this edition don't bring come to Africa. Yes. And that landmark there, I bet you 2027, we get for see influx of European players there. They reject European clubs them. European countries for go play for them countries them. That's one. And then or two again, let we try for elevate the standard of organization around we sport. Because if we not do so, then we're not going to give quality product to people there. For example, when they say team they play, na team officials them for dinner the field, that's where safety starts. Na them for Didi. Me granny no for commodity, oh na me mama for candy. No. If you not understand, you not buy ticket, then let them don't come there. This is something we also need for really look at. And also we for able to demonstrate the value for ready for snap now the big stage when it comes to hosting events like this. Because if this is not there, then what are we doing it for? But to be candid, the last part of everything we need to take home, and when I believe in now we all for look at investing in the youth pathway. Investing in the youth pathway. We not force you don't the wait say past the Europeans and go start on our country. Let we self start and by we self. And then come along the line can join we. And by so doing, we will get more players there. And normally, not necessarily say pass we sell them abroad.
Okay.
But if we able get a proper standard league, we able manage them players and they give them waiting due them, then we can get them able for perform at international level as well. You see? But so far, it's been a wonderful moment talking with you. Thanks to the engineer Femi and the team and everybody. And thanks for hosting me as well.
All right, thank you very much. This one is a pleasure to have you once more, and we get for break this down. We cannot foresee there is so many untold stories in this, in this discussion with Angel
And
TV.
don't forget to Aji and Coach Tiff one of the balls them.
No,
So
that is not. I
now
mean, we'll be in the one for take home.
I will send you the video. So late now the CTV camera out and go pull. Now I make see the now I make them see and say now I take the ball, he give the ball. But at the end of the day, one of the ball then lost. So then they ask say if you see an eBay, let you know say now one of them ball and they will lost.
Oh my God. Well, again, that's the beauty of football in Africa. You win some and lose some. And the one the way you win, now the one the way you least expect. The one the way you lost, now the one the way you least expect. That's the way the game is, and that's the way the game will be. Not for long in Africa, because the game has changed. But thank you very much, Desmond. And we definitely go talk about, again, we will do specific on Sierra Leone football, because I'm not for saying Sierra Leone football has not been discussed lengthily like this for a while. All the football groups they don't talk nothing about Sierra Leone national football. They just talk about home games, the Senegal Army, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United, and all that crap. It's about time we start to honor our league and make sure we represent our local clubs in Sierra Leone. And I say this not to Panjoko. I think it's a waste of time, resources, and energy for Sierra Leoneans, them waiting at the diaspora in Salon, for celebrate clubs, they really they give them no economical value, no sporting value other than just support fan base. Because if we put that energy there in Sierra Leone local clubs, in terms of buying their memorabilia, buying their vests, buying their home and away kits, watching their games, week in, week out. Now all the various different sites then where they will be able to generate proper income for make the sports grow and give life to them. The easy way making they pay players like a Ronaldo 200 million, 300 million, because it's not just about the money that they are paying them. They generate all that money from merchandising and from also gate takings and from also other elements of sponsorship where a particular player they get. Then it is summarized, then talk about in monthly or annual earnings. So it is not an easy task to forget salon players they really play in the Premiership or whatever they call the league, and then able to afford for pay them basic salary of maybe 3 or 4 or 5 million. But if we come together collectively and invest in the games, then as Desmond they say, it is not just on governments to be able to say we'll provide you all the facilities that you want. Government cannot provide all the facilities for sport. Investors need to come in. Why are we scared to invest in our game? And we believe, say, Uwalik will play and excel. No. If the league is not solid, there is no investment in the game, people will not be able to put their energy and participate to the fullest. I remember 30, 40 years ago, I spoke to an ex-pro who telling me, say, 30, 40 years ago, when they go play game na Guinea, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Tunisia, Mauritania, then they want for buy them men and not left there. These are on club or national level. Because then they play games then where they go play Mauritania at some point. Now 11 man, now 9 man travel will enable for each on time. 9 man including coach Ofi Dogbo being get for gonna pitch for play. Then beat Mauritania for something. This not the Salon team when they talk about 40 years ago. That's how much football was respected in Sierra Leone. Because you get all land skaters, then maybe they support Lions, then really get together for them and pay them. You get Life Flower, when I being Port Authority, maybe they support sport. You get Blackpool owned by the military. You get Olympic owned by the police. Even Blackpool will also be sponsored by Bank of Sierra Leone at some point. And most of their senior players that has some elements of small education were full-time workers, either as security or administrative representative in various different offices there. Some of them they work in a Bank of Salon, some of them work at NIC, some of them were police or prison officers. So they had jobs that were giving them regular income. So we got to look at what thing we got to do as a nation for develop the game and make it more attractive for the people and can put their money. So I think we'll go left and right for this particular program today. And we say thank you to our viewers on Facebook and YouTube. And thank you for your full participation and your comments and suggestions being made on this particular program. So we'll go say thank you, Tona. And don't forget to join us tomorrow, because tomorrow gets a political discussion where they bring one of the APC aspirants, them, Dr. Davis, where they can talk to we about why he wants to become a flag bearer for the APC political party. So on behalf of this,
Tibo, you say yourself you come out as flag bearer. Yeah, Femi, I wait for now.
Were you ready for sponsor the campaign?
Because Salo Alban are flag bearer now. The 8 million.
No, if you ready for sponsor the campaign, to God at the come on next week.
Yeah, they ready. You are the sponsor.
It's no problem. Well, on record, Desmond say it is sponsor my campaign. So if you not see, I not come out for flag bearer. Well, actually, now which political party will I come out for?
You call the party.
No, you the sponsor. So you tell me which party I for support. Well, you see, that the whole thing not well now. There's a put him on you say what's the more when they put them in. I mean, the dictates out the game for honors or so. So you tell me
the sponsor. So no, now you didn't give me what you have for sponsor.
No. Now you mean the sponsor. So you get for telling me who say you want for make. Okay, if I go, you sponsor me. I say I go sponsor. I go be flag bearer for deep in PDP. You go agree?
I sponsor you. In a sponsorship you want.
No, I want sponsorship with direction. I'm not just buying money.
The person ain't get the direction, so I sponsor the person.
No, me, I want sponsorship with direction, not to join you money number one.
But now the person me the sponsor, so which means the person get direction.
All right, on here, Desmond say it is sponsor me if I go on for flag bearer for any political party.
Any political
party. We can't form we own political party soon.
Because I know say change the camp. Waiting for dog no they eat na ground where you go be president. Now Paul go eat.
True.
Yes.
For sure, I agree on that day. becoming one of the most disciplined
So
presidents.
that's why I say I go stay in charge
Now
of the
from
campaign.
Femi, how they start. As he mistakes, so now they begin sack first. Since I was usually we go with. You know, serious. You don't make money and you know how for make we country better. Go with man. Like get somebody else so they can take over a position. No, but on a very serious note, politics play a great role in our development in Sierra Leone. So no longer for take like a joke. And we believe say stadium for when they repair. But that's another discussion for
But
another
this
day.
is what the people don't make them because everybody they come out say so they don't make them a joke. Like with the joke, then they build mansion
No, there's
and
more. Only that joke there anymore. That joke there for done now.
now make them they go run away. Then one be president, when them go America, they don't care again. Left
I have police case.
get
I
bad
go and be
news.
president. She gotta make I go to a refugee. There's one. Not gonna cast out on that discussion. That's a different discussion. Now you're not nothing to do with football right now. Wait, please. Not gonna start me up.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you very much, Desmond. Definitely, I'll get back to you anytime soon
No
for give
problem.
any updates or any upcoming show. Thank you very much,
Okay,
boss.
thank you.
All right. So that was Desmond from Holland, and Desmond on the follow me and be with me for the past couple of years in we progress in sports in Sierra Leone, and we believe say he has been very supportive in the program they would to do. So thank you very much once more again for joining us, and don't forget to join us tomorrow for another edition of How the Go Inside the Republic, or the bring with political segments of the show we the start off from tomorrow, and then subsequent other weeks them go follow through as well. And don't forget to join the boss. The boss again is one of the newest program then we don't release yesterday. Official program starts yesterday with the host now Buba JT, and we get Matthew Farmer. We na big stew. We made in the platform yesterday. But let's continue for follow Sierra Media and subscribe to the page because we go be sooner focus on YouTube, because again there are serious issues on Facebook and we don't want for going to that kind of complications them there. So we get for begin focus now on YouTube platforms them and we websites. So don't forget to subscribe. If you're following our Facebook and you're following our YouTube, please subscribe, because on YouTube, yes, you can watch the program, but when you subscribe, you get able to get with notification them for any time we come live. So on behalf of the Sarah Media team and myself, I want to say good evening to you all, wherever you are, or good morning or good night. Have a pleasant evening, and make sure you wake up early tomorrow and get yourself going. On behalf of we all, have a good night and bye-bye.